What's what's good, YouTube? This your man Spill Dog. I just saw a video of Earl back in the gym training. He looked like he in a good space in his head. Don't look like he, letting it get to his mind. The defeat that he had in the last fight on the 29th against Crawford. Hopefully he ready to come back and get back 100% dedicated. Sometimes a slice of humble pie is just what it takes to get a guy back in the mix. Get him back on point again. If on point is ever gonna be, I'm real interested to see what type of fight he bring to the ring. Still I have a hard time uh, with how he performed in that last fight, and what I've actually even thought was, because when the way he pressed for that fight, Earl pressed, he forced that fight to happen, and for him to force that fight to happen and then to come out there looking as unprepared as he was, he says he's injured. I guess I gotta accept that. I would have postponed the fight, me personally, had I got injured in training camp, or I would have hoped him and his team, if he would have tried to convince him to just give put it off another 6 weeks or something. That last time, but he seemed like the type you can't really tell nothing to. And that might, sometimes that's to your advantage. Sometimes it's not. A lot of times, had he listened to what other people say, he might not be where he is right now. But still, sometimes you need to listen to somebody. And I think I really hope for his career that he can get back on track. This fight he had, if him and Crawford go ahead and had a rematch, they really can end their career with this fight right here. And what I mean by that is, I always felt like this was going to be 3 fights. We got to see what Earl brings to the ring in his next fight. But if the real Spence come back to Spence that won all these all these titles in the Olympics and all this stuff that he's done, if that guy show up whenever they decide to rematch, I think he'll win, and they'll have a third fight, and they'll make enough money from them 3 fights to both walk away rich men, and with no reason to hold your head down, regardless to who wins the trilogy. If it gets to that point, what my biggest concern is, I'm gonna say it. My biggest concern is, do Earl know from the accidents and all the stuff he done been through outside the ring, he ain't himself no more. Only reason why I even ponder that thought is, for him, like I said, for him to press for that fight like he did, for him to give up the whole A side, basically, just give all the advantages that you worked your ass off to get, for you to give all that up and perform that way. And then here's another thought I had. Crawford was willing to walk away from that fight, and the trajectory that Earl had been on from that point, he had done beat up everybody in the welterweight division. Whether he fought Terrence Crawford or not, he could have fought anybody else. The big Canelo fight would have been on deck a year or so down the line, and it would have been probably bigger money than the fight with him and Crawford. So he was going, if all he had to do was keep fighting and winning, he was going to get the money eventually. And it wasn't going to be that far down the line whether he fought Crawford or Canelo or whoever. And it make me wonder, do he know he can't do what he used to do, and trying to get all he can and get the hell on up out of here, which I respect if that's the case. Me, myself personally, I have cancer. I just went through radiation and shit like that last year, and I'm doing a whole lot better, but I still got issues. I broke my left tibia and fibula, got a plate and screws there. If you look at me, see me in the gym working out something like that, you won't be able to tell, but I know. You dig? And I was sitting back wondering, is that the case with Spence? Is it a case where them accidents took something out of him that he might can't get back, and he know it, and now he don't want to take a chance and losing to a lesser fighter and get these big fights out the way. I don't know, but that's the thought I have. Cause like I said, I watched the fight again last night, and for him to, he just pressed so hard to fight in the manner that he did. We'll find out when they rematch. Cause if he, something definitely wasn't right with him that night. Not to take nothing away from Crawford, but that definitely wasn't Errol Spence that that he's been over the last since he's been a professional fighter. And you know, although Crawford, you can see clearly did his homework. Some of that just what it just something clearly I felt like wasn't right with him that night. And it could just be Crawford skills. We'll find out when they fight again. This is why I was like, I really don't like him using the injury thing. But if it's legitimate, then it's cool. Because if it's not legitimate and you go back in there and the same thing happen, boy, you ain't got. I mean, it'll be hell for him out here. With the reporters and YouTubers and all that. If he say he was if he wasn't right, and you go back out there now and it look the same way, because as much as I know Earl should be at his best and should fight a whole lot better when they rematch. Well, everybody got to remember, so will Crawford. Crawford is not the type to sit back and get too caught up in it. He gonna prepare like a real professional, and he gonna be ready, just like he was last time when they fight. And I'm more so, from what it seemed like, Crawford has more ability to come in with a completely different game plan. It seemed like than Errol do. I don't want to call Earl a one-trick pony, because even if he is, it's a hell of a one-trick. But he definitely need to work on fighting off his back foot. Moving side to side and coming from angles instead of straight ahead. And like I said, a lot of that came from, I think he just been beating these dudes so easy the last ones, or he just been so much better than all the guys he fought up until like Sean Porter. Underestimation, it shouldn't have been there, but it might have been. Or what I'm saying. So that's why I say, man, I hope they get the rematch. I do. It ain't gonna take me no more than 1 or 2 rounds to know if he gonna be in, if it's gonna be a fight the next time or not. I don't, but just seeing where he see like his head at, I think he in the right head space to go in here and handle his business in this fight next time. But I've always said I felt like it was gonna be 3 fights regardless to who won the first one. It just have thrown everybody off the decisive way. Crawford won the first fight, even me, and I'd be lying if I ain't say I'm a little salty with Spence when he say he wasn't 100% coming out here taking that fight. That shit pissed me off a little bit when I'm saying that, I'm trying to come up with you, dude. You got yours, you fuck mine, so you jag mine's off, going out there and wasn't ready, and the biggest fight in your career. And that's why I say, man, is something wrong with him permanently that he know he ain't gonna be able to get past, and he wanna get what he can out the back end of this, get all the money he can now and walk on away from this thing. And like I say, if that's the case, I can respect that. And seeing that first car accident he had is damn sure understandable. I don't, I'm not giving him that as an excuse, not even a little bit, but it is a fact. And to me, it didn't look like there was nothing wrong with him against Danny Garcia. I felt like he got hit too much by Ugas. And same thing happened when he got in there with Crawford. He got hit too much, so that cataract thing could be real, because Ugas caught him with a lot of big shots in there. He just didn't have what Crawford had, and he didn't have the precision placement that Crawford had, landing his punches. But he blasted Earl with a lot of big shots too. He really did. So I would say this though: if Earl come back 100% and he can go in there and redeem himself in his next fight, I think this fight right here with Crawford and Spence could take both of them on into retirement. Because if Spence win the next fight, Crawford gonna get the most money, and they have a third fight. I think they both will really. I think that'll be a humongous fight if it get to a trilogy, especially if they fight again and Earl come in there and show he still got some, he still is who he once was, and go in there and get some straightening, so we're going to see what's good in the next couple of months. I'm hoping, seeing how Tim Zoo finna fight Keith Thurman, and I just don't think Bud going to fight Boots. I just don't think he, the reward, the risk ain't worth the reward in that fight. I would, if I was his trainer or something like that, and I know a lot of people are going to hear me say that, but I don't know if I would be going in that direction. I would rather him fight Earl again than Boots, because right now Boots seems to be the more dangerous fighter. He bigger, he faster, he hit hard with both hands. He just as athletic as Terrence Crawford with the footwork. That fight would be, I think, possibly the more difficult for both of them than each other. But that's it for me on this video. If you like the video, to like or subscribe. Till next time, it's your boy Spill Dog. I'm out.